All right, all right, all right. Welcome in. Toilets to Titles. This is episode number 193. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it through the long and grueling offseason, the 2023 NFL offseason. Again, this is episode number 193. It is the last episode of the offseason. I am joined with my guy, my co-host, Mr. Justin Stevens at JustinFF underscore on the Twitter. Justin, how we doing?
Hey, I'm loving life right now, living it up. We must be doing something right with life to be able to have a fun show tonight, though, with all the fun things that we're doing. So I don't want to give it away or anything, but we're gonna have some fun with the Patreons tonight. So this is the kind of show where when we started this whole thing, like this is what it's been all about all along is trying to give back to the people and not just in fantasy football advice form.
Yeah, usually like the last episode of the off season, we do like a mock draft banger. The last 3 years, so this is the fourth year, the start of the fourth season for us. We usually bring on a bunch of guests like John Laub, Shane Hallam. We've had Bob Harris, like multiple, mock drafters from different sites, and we do like a big mock draft. And we've done that multiple times. Tonight we're gonna do a mock draft. But we wanted to do something fun and geared towards our Gilded chat. We're going to be doing some giveaways to our Patreon members. So Justin didn't give it away, but I'm going to give it away. And it's funny, we were talking about video games. Shout out to Bethesda. We got Starfield coming out. So any of you who are going to be playing Starfield, reach out to me on Twitter at Coach Sheps. I don't want to take up too much time, but I know that's coming out Thursday for pre-release, and I can't wait. But we're not giving away a copy of Starfield. We're giving away a copy of Madden tonight to a Patreon member. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And we are going to mock draft. So we're going to have some fun. I see Chris's videos in here. Man, Chris's videos has been around since like day one. So shout out to Chris's videos. I see Fantasy Football Monsters in here. Seeing you. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, the reason we didn't want to do like something like a big old mock, we wanted to give back because the Patreon's grown. We have about 35 Patreon members right now, and I think going into the summer we had about 15. So we've gone up 20. We have a Gilded chat that has been huge. We're filling leagues in there. We're talking draft advice. We're talking trade advice. In season, we're going to be talking start sit advice. So that's free. So reach out to me on Twitter at Coach Chef. So reach out to the show, toiletstotitles@gmail.com, and I'll get you in Gilded. And you can interact with a community of over 250 fantasy minds. I assume by the middle of September, we're going to be over 300. And it's, nonstop NFL fantasy football discussion. But in that Gilded chat, we have a sub chat for the special members of the Patreon team. And I see Mark's in here. He's a member of the Patreon team. Nice to see you, buddy. We are going to be giving away a copy of Madden. And then we're going to remove whoever gets the copy of Madden from the pool. And then we're going to give away a 47 brand hat. And the person who wins that is going to be able to pick one out, send it to us. We're going to send it to you. So just us saying thank you for making this fun. It's always kind of been fun, but sometimes it's a little grueling when you're not getting the views, you're not getting the interaction because you're just kind of working. And when it becomes work, it gets tough. When we have a following, we have supporters and friends that we've been developing through this, it becomes less like work and more like fun again. So thank you. And you know what else feels good? When we get some good reviews. So Justin, I know we've been reading off some of the 5-star Apple reviews, Apple Podcasts, Toilets and Titles. If you want to throw us a 5-star review, it makes me smile, makes me feel good. Justin, why don't you read off a recent one?
So James Dimitrov, I believe that's how you pronounce it. James Dimitrov.
Yeah.
He loves us so much that he sent in 2 reviews, kind of back to back. So I'm going to just go ahead and read those both because we do appreciate James. We appreciate the 5-star review. But he says, guys who are more than determined to make their podcast and league as great as possible for everyone. Listening, joining, caring about their supporters, listening to all feedback, and donating to charity, which is correct as well. We do with the Frankenstank. There's charity involved with that. There's usually charity involved with your playoff. Again, all about giving back, which we appreciate the fact that James pointed that out. So it's nice to see that he was getting involved with us on the charity end as well. So I believe that's when he first joined us, was with your charity playoff league. So then he also commented, best podcast for fantasy football content. Definitely going to win a few leagues this year with our information. So we appreciate you, James. Thank you very much for the 5-star reviews.
How did he? So I don't even know you could leave 2 reviews. So shout out to James to figure out, like, because he's making all of you others look bad. You all are leaving 1. James is leaving 2. So shout out to James. I don't know how many we have left, but we put like 6 down about like 4 or 5 weeks ago. We've gone through them all. So again, Apple Podcast, Toilets Titles, throw us some review, and we'll continue to read them off throughout the offseason. Go ahead.
I think you can only leave 1 like star rating, but I think you can comment with as many reviews as you like. But also, if you can only leave 1 star rating, I'm sure you got a family member that's got a phone laying around. You can help us out.
Yeah. So I mentioned the Gilded Chat. So everybody, you're going to want to get in there for the in-season content. Just draft advice. It's the time of year. Start sit advice. Also Sundays, 10:30 a.m. I believe up until 12:30 p.m. Title time. Start sit live show on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. The guys will be answering your questions live on air. I'm going to try to make it as much as possible. And also, we're doing a survivor pool. Okay, so $30 gets you into the survivor pool. You lose once, you're out. Your team loses, you're out. So it's not like you can't buy back. It's a one-time thing. We have about 20 members right now. I want to get up to at least 50. So if you want in the $30 survivor pool, reach out to me, toiletsandtitles@gmail.com, or reach out to me on the Twitter @Coach Sheps, and I will get you into the survivor pool. So I think we got about 8 people, I'm assuming, going back and forth. I see Rich is in here. Again, Raul Boyd's in here. He's got a question. So we're going to let's answer Raul's question before we get to the Madden giveaway, the first of the 2 giveaways we're doing this evening. So Raul, why don't you pull up, Justin, why don't you pull up this question?
Yep. So he says, Kenneth Walker and Zay Flowers for Ramondre. And then he says, I still would have Rashad, which I'm assuming is Rashad White.
Yep.
Pierce, probably Damian Pierce, if we're talking running backs here. And
Justin Jefferson.
Jajettas.
Justin Jefferson.
Waddle, Elijah Moore, Dotson, Watson, and Jamison Williams. Okay, so this is a lot like, just so you guys know, this is the start sit show on Sunday mornings, only it's who am I starting this week with all of these options, and then we break down each individual one and decide. So he's saying he would still have, okay, let's look at running back first, because he's trading away. Oh, wait a minute. We also need to know who you're trading away here. Are you trading?
It's Kenneth Walker and Zay Flowers for Ramondre. So he'd be giving up Kenneth Walker and Zay Flowers. He'd be bolstering his running back core by bringing in Ramondre. I'm assuming this is redraft. So we're not thinking long-term, because Zay Flowers, Kenneth Walker, long-term in Dynasty, I prefer those 2 for the youth. But with Ramondre, even though they have Zeke, I think Zeke's only going to be like a short yardage guy, which he might poach some of your touchdowns. But Kenneth Walker is going to have to deal with Zach Charbonnet. So I think Ramondre outscores Kenneth Walker. I'd say Kenneth Walker probably finishes like RB16. I think Ramondre is probably around RB7, RB8. So Zay Flowers is a guy who Zay Flowers might be frustrating to have on your roster this season, because the highs are going to be super high. The lows might be low because he's going to be in a system with Odell Beckham, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman. There's going to be mouths to feed over there in Baltimore. And I don't think you're going to know which weeks are the weeks to play Zay Flowers. And it's going to be a little frustrating. So to remove the frustration of Zay and Kenneth, I think it'd be worth it personally to pick up Ramondre Stevenson in that deal.
And they also traded away Pierre Strong in New England today as well. So that's 1 less mouth to feed in New England. So and again, I'm with you. I don't think that Zeke tears into a whole lot of what Ramondre is there for. Just some of that, the goal line carries are it's going to be frustrating. But even if you take away a few of his touchdowns last year, he still was a very viable starting running back week in and week out. So I like it as well.
Fantasy Football Monster said he'd take Ramondre being under running back 7 or 8. I mean, highly possible, let's see. Where are my rankings right now? Who do I have as the top 7 running backs? Toiletsandtitles.com under the redraft tab. You'll find our redraft rankings. I got McCaffrey, Eckler, Chubb, Robinson, Taylor, which now I got to bump Taylor out because he's missing the first 4 weeks. Saquon Barkley, Pollard, Najee, Ramondre. So I could see him outscoring Najee. Obviously now it bumps Jonathan Taylor back. So I have him comfortably at 8. But would I be surprised if he passes a guy like Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry now, I think he's going to be sharing some carries with Tajay Spears because he's thrown the juice. I don't think Tajay is going to take a lot of carries, but he's going to take some carries because he demands it, because the kid looks electric. So
Yeah, and then this question came before that one. I think you might have missed it, and we're not going to answer a whole bunch of these types of questions, but it is Chris's videos, so we got to help this guy out.
right.
And for me personally, I'm assuming this is like a draft situation. You're going to be up soon, or just straight up, who are you taking for the season? I'm going with Freiermuth, just because I'm not quite as sold that that Deshaun Watson makes that full comeback this year. So, and then also, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Pittsburgh right now with that offense. They're looking pretty good.
Pickens is a dude.
Yeah, and I think that's going to really help open up a lot more red zone opportunities than we've seen with Freiermuth in the past as well.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Muth, but I think this is a really close one.
Man, so and also Raul mentioned he has Charbonnet, so he'd be shipping Kenneth and keeping Charbonnet. So, at least you'd get the benefit from that
When it
backfield
comes to
stuff.
running backs in redraft, I like that. Like, a lot of people like to handcuff their starter with that starter's backup in case their guy gets hurt. I don't like to play like there's in case my guy's going to get hurt. I like to play like in case their guy gets hurt, now I have another running back option. So if Walker gets hurt now, you've got Charbonnet as a dynamite option. So that's how I like to look at it.
All right, let's pull up this giveaway, man. We got a bunch of people in
Do
here. Yeah, let's pull it up. Should we don't need to read off all the Patreons. So the way we did it is Justin did the math. Depending on what tier, I didn't even know we had a 6th tier, but I guess we have 6 tiers, man. So
That's
I
the
mean,
$20.
yeah. So depending on the tier you're in, you got that amount of entry. So tier 1 is $1.50 a month. Patreon.com/toilets and titles. $1.50 a month is less than a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. It supports the team. And me and Justin, so not only do you get the weekly waiver wire episode and doc, not only do you get one-on-one start sit advice, and then each tier's got its own added perks. We got DFS advice, we got gambling advice. We're also going to be doing giveaways weekly in season to our Patreons. We're going to nail that down, but they're going to be substantial. So $1.50 a month gets you an opportunity to do all this. And then if you want to be more supportive, and we're putting the money back into the Patreons. But anyway, depending on your tier, from $1.50 with tier 1 to tier 6, which is $20, you get that amount of entries. So Justin added them all up. He put them in this wheel. I did tell the people today, if you already got Madden, all right, I will get you a game of equal value. So if you already have Madden, you're in the Patreon, you're not SOL. We're still going to take care of you. We're going to get you a game of equal value, whichever you choose. So I'm ready, man.
Smart man. And so with we had another Patreon sign up today with his 3 entries. That brings us to a grand total of 88 entries, which is a number that is significant to both you and I. So you got Dez, I've got my guy Marvin, and then of course there were 3 other wide receivers for Dallas. But yeah, so it was a significant number to us. So this it was meant to be. So here we go. We're gonna shuffle the board 3 times, because every time I do any wheel randomizer, I like to shuffle it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And here we go.
Spin that wheel, baby. I like the disc. I like Josh Allen in the background. And we've upgraded because Justin's screen is crystal clear when he's doing this. In the past,
hey,
go.
guy, Dennis Noel. He's I met him at Canton. He signed up for the Patreon at Canton. I signed up for one of his leagues, which turns out it's going to be a crazy league. I didn't even know it was a guillotine league when I signed up, but it's going to be a lot of fun kicking his butt and trying to win some of this back. So that's awesome, Dennis. Happy for you, man.
So
he also told us an interesting story while we were there. So Dennis Noel, who spells his last name differently, they actually still might be related because of a split that happened. Because we told him where D now lives. There was a split in their family with that last name. I totally forgot to talk to D now about it. But D now, if you're watching, we need to talk.
Hey, can one of you Gilded members who are also Patreon members who didn't win tag Dennis in the Gilded chat, shout him out, let him know to reach out to us in case he's not watching. And in the meantime, we still have one more giveaway this evening, okay? And we are going to be giving away a 47 brand hat a little bit later, probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. And all of you who like the draft content, I know you're watching on the clock already. I know you're not waiting until December, January for draft content because T2T's got you hooked up. We're going to get this a Caleb Williams signed Funko Pop. And Caleb Williams is that dude. I might be giving this thing away on the clock, so make sure you're tuned in. And my guy, Drake May, signed Funko Pop. These might be going. So these are all you want to be in for the giveaways, man. Patreon.com/toilets to titles. I also got, what is this? Devon A-Chain signed mini helmet. Like if he goes off, that thing's gonna be worth a little bit. What do we got? Wait. I got some more, man. I got some more.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Quinn Ewers signed jersey. Like, I'm just dying to give this stuff away, but we got to fill up the Patreon. When we get to like, how about this? If we get to 50 Patreons, I will give this Caleb Williams mini helmet away. What are we at right now? 33?
Yeah.
50 Patreons.
34
Patreons. So 26 more. I will do a giveaway for this Caleb Williams signed Funko Pop, which he is going to be the number 1 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. All right, Justin, we're doing some stuff with Rival this year. Tomorrow, we have some free leagues with $250 in payouts opening up. So can you tell the listeners what they're about and how they can get in and play with us?
Yeah. Okay. So Rival is starting a brand new platform called their season-long platform, and it's on the Rival website, and you see it right here below me. Joinrival.com/title tribe. It's very important that you add that /title tribe. I think a few of you have slipped through by just going to rival.com or something, and but if you go through that site, or through that link in particular, you get a couple extra fun things. One of those fun things is that as our listener, you get to be a part of their beta testing for their season-long fantasy football. It's just like any other season-long redraft fantasy football league. It's going to be PPR. It's the draft's going to be online, just like all the other major websites. This particular site also has fantasy sports betting. We're going to talk about that more on a show that we record on Wednesday nights. So Nate and I will be recording it tomorrow night, and we'll be dropping that on Thursday morning. But anyway, get away from all the extra betting, because if you live like I do in Indiana, a no fun state, and you can't gamble on their site, it doesn't matter. You can still play in these free leagues. And when I say free leagues, I don't mean they're just free leagues, because there's still a payout. That's their payment to you as our viewer for being a part of their beta testing, so that they can see how the platform works. So you sign up for this free league, and there's going to be $250 worth of prize payout pool for every single league that we can fill up. Right now we have 2 full. We'd really like to get to about 5 by the time all of this is said and done. We need to fill a couple more leagues, guys. So please reach out to us. So here's how you do it. You sign up, like I said, right down there, joinrival.com/title tribe. When you do that, you're going to see a friends tab on there. You can click on that friends tab, and you can request friends. Just request both John and I. So it's Coach Shep's T to T, Justin T to T, and go ahead and request Nate T to T as well. Because if you do end up getting into the betting side, then you'll be able to send us rival bets. Like if I'm running on the show talking real highly about Dalvin Cook, and you're like, no, the dude's going to fall on his face because it's the Jets or whatever, and you don't like it, you think you want to send me a rival bet, you can. So make sure you're friending all of us. And then as we get you in there, we'll get you friended with all the other guys on the team as well, because we know you like to watch all the other shows on the network as well. But you do that. Yeah, you friend us. We'll accept that friend request, and then we'll get you into our gilded chat if you're not already there, and get you linked up. But these drafts do start tomorrow. I talked to the guy today. They're still not sure if it's going to drop tomorrow morning or later in the afternoon because of the time zone issues that they have. A lot of the guys they have working on their site live in Switzerland, so they're trying to work out all the details for us. But it will be at some point tomorrow, and when those when those leagues open, we're going to try to fill those very, very shortly, very quickly as soon as they open, because of some side news that I forgot to tell you about, John. But I'll talk about that off the air.
All right. Hey, I want to get to this mock draft. So we're going to get to that and then we'll do the 47 brand giveaway. But before
Got
we
it.
do that, I also forgot to mention we're crowning the best new team name of the year for Frankenstank, which is a new payout we added. Frankenstank, our listener league, is $25 to play. Okay. And this year we're donating $750 to charity, the way we've done it every year. The winner of the league, when they win, they tell us, hey, this is the charity I want to support. Next year, we're going to be well over 1,000 because we're going to have at least 36 more teams. But new payout we added was best new team name because it's got to be monster themed. There's a few people in here who one or two of them, they don't even have a name. So that was lazy. You could have just done something fun, had an opportunity to win $25. But Justin, I've narrowed it down. I've looked through all of them. It's between two for me.
Okay.
All right. Zombie redneck torture family
That was
and
on my list.
Leatherface's holistic Midwest retreat.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I won't even mention the other two that I had, but both of those were on my list as well. Because
Well, mention the other two.
Well, I don't think I want to mention the other two because like we had these similar. So in my mind, like these are our finalists. So if I mention the other two, then they might feel bad that they didn't win. So
all right. I want you to mention them anyway.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look it back up then.
All right. Well, I didn't want to put you on the spot. All right. I think to me, I like Zombie Redneck Torture Family, but Leatherface's Holistic Midwest Retreat. That's the one.
And I really like Ghostface Killers because I'm a
simple.
big fan of Ghostface. I'm a big fan of Scream, and the Killers part at the end kind of makes it a little bit. Yeah. So so that was definitely one of them. I'm looking for the other one. Oh, yeah. No, 18 weeks later. And here's why I like 18 weeks later, because it's a playoff of the movie, I believe, 21 days later or 24 days later, something like that, where there was like a plague that we're trying to avoid. But since it's football, fantasy football, he made it 18 weeks. Right. So it's 18 weeks later. And then also, dude even had a logo made up for his page where it's 18 weeks later, or it's whatever the movie's logo was, but to look like fantasy football for this league, just for this league, he had a logo made up. So I think it was pretty awesome.
Shout out to them. Those are I like. So this isn't to put them down because it's awesome that they did that and we appreciate it. And this is to show our appreciation. But to me, the winner is Leatherface's Holistic Midwest Retreat.
Yeah, I love Leatherface, man. And there's a story about my son when he was 4 years old that was freaked out by that movie. So,
bro, that was, to me, I watched that movie when I was young too. Like, I had two older sisters. My family loves horror films. Like, I watched it, Child's Play. All those movies scared me. I was a scared kid anyway. But Leatherface, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a different level of fear.
Oh, yeah.
Because it felt so real. Like I had nightmares about that movie. Like that's how. So that, but anytime it's clever. Right. But this is clever. Holistic Midwest Retreat. So we crowned Matthew Pryor the winner of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, hey, if Rich, I saw you, anyone in the chat, if you're in the chat now, if you could tag Matthew Pryor and Gilded, tell him to reach out to me. I'll Venmo him $25 after the show. So Dennis Noel, I'll get you Madden. And then Matthew Pryor, reach out to me and I will Venmo you $25. Your Frankenstank entry was free this year because your team name was good. All right. So very good. All right, let's start this mock. And then we'll pause it. We'll pause it after the second round because we're going to go through the first two rounds rather quickly because we've mocked 2 rounds earlier in the offseason. And I think I want to kind of break down what we're doing after the first 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So we are using what website are we using for this mock, Justin?
So we're using Rival Fantasy. So Rival Fantasy does have under their season long tab, they do have mock drafts as well. So so the way we've got it set up here, you can see it right there on your screen. You see I've got the 1, Coach has the 2. We're just going to alternate, and I'll just input the picks as we go, just like when we use the other sites. But hey, if Rival is going to be a sponsor and they do awesome mocks as well, we may as well use them. So we're going to try it out for the first time on the main show.
Let's do it. All right, let's start this thing off.
All right, here we go. All right. All right. So I
Turn
can
the noises off.
noise.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, we're not going to go 2.5 minutes with each pick, and I know we're flying by quick. Normally, I'm a running back heavy guy, but I had the 101 in another draft and decided to change it up, and I went Justin Jefferson with the 101, and I really liked the way that the team shaped out at the end, so I'm going to do that again.
All right, and I've been hearing so much talk about Travis Kelce. I don't know when the last time I've ever drafted a tight end in the first round, but I'm interested to see how this team pans out. Going elite tight end, pick number one. I want to see if I can build a good team that way. So pick number two, I'm going to try out Travis Kelce.
All right, very good. And you can okay, yeah, cool. Oh shoot, I guess we're not going to alternate.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. So we got Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Nick Chubb, AJ Brown. I like the Chubb AJ Brown stack. CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Adams paired up. So we got two wide receivers right there. Tony Pollard with Stephon Diggs, Amon Ra with Bijan. That's very explosive. We got a quarterback in the first round or in the second round. I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes with Saquon Barkley, Cooper Kupp, and Garrett Wilson on one team. That's a very phenomenal high floor start.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry to go with Tyreek Hill, Josh Jacobs to go with Austin Eckler, two volatile running backs.
Love that start.
Josh Allen, and we got another quarterback. And then we got Jalen Waddle right before me. So it's almost as if the computer knew who I'd be interested in. All right. So, all right, I got Travis Kelce. I feel like I need to go running back because there's a lot of good running backs off the board. We were talking about Ramondre earlier in the show. Let me go with the high floor running back here. Let me go with Ramondre Stevenson because I feel like I can get more wide receivers later. So I got Ramondre.
All right. So again, running back heavy guy right here. And I went the hero wide receiver route. So I've got to follow that up with two running backs. The one that I know for sure I'm going to take here is Jonathan Taylor. As a Colts fan, I know there's a good chance he could go, possibly even during this show, because they said the deadline is today, but I don't think he does. I really don't think he goes anywhere. And then I think that they find a way to at least smooth things over well enough for Jonathan Taylor to feel like he needs to ball out this year because he's going to want to go somewhere else anyway, regardless next season, because those ties with Irsay are cut. So
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he's going to have a big season this year, just as a big screw you on his way out the door. And then after that, the top two here, Najee and Etienne, for me are really, really close. I think that there's probably more opportunity with Najee, and there's a little bit more of a higher injury risk with ETN because of the style back. So I'm going to go with Harris here.
Man, I kind of like the running back to back there because I do feel like there's a drop off after Mixon, ETN, and Gibbs. Jones, he's gonna, he's probably right there, but he's gonna be sharing some touches with Dylan. Brees Hall's gonna be sharing some touches with Cook. So I think Gibbs and ETN both share touches, but what they're gonna make up for that in receptions. So I'm almost thinking, man, I might go. It's either Chris Olave or Jahmyr Gibbs because Chris Olave, to me, he is my wide receiver 12. He's probably the last wide receiver one I have on my rankings who's the number one on his team. Because Devontae, DK is probably the one, but there's going to be Tyler's going to cut into that, Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I want Gibbs, but I'm going to go Olave. I'm going to go Olave here. So I'm well rounded. One guy at each position.
Yep.
So we got Jalen Hurts next, followed by Devontae Smith, followed by Mark Andrews. That's our second tight end. He went off the board in the third round. T. Higgins. There goes Travis Etienne, DK, Joe Mixon, Calvin Ridley, and Jahmyr Gibbs goes with the 11th pick. Debo, then Lamar Jackson, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Aaron Jones, Joe Burrow. So we got a quarterback run. Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert. And then we have our third tight end off the board, TJ Hawkinson. So quarterbacks are going, but it's a one quarterback league. And I released a short early. What? I'm sorry?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. It was one quarterback.
Yeah, so I released a short earlier about Jared Goff and being willing to wait on Jared Goff because he finished quarterback 10 last year. I think quarterback 10 pretty much standard going to be for him this year. So I can wait. Trevor Lawrence is still available. I'm really high on Watson this year. Tua's going to have monster games. I'd obviously draft a second quarterback if I get him. So this is round 4. Terry McLaurin's available. Mike Williams, Drake London. It's a bunch of guys. Brandon Ayuk's still available. Where do I have Brandon Ayuk? I have Brandon Ayuk as my wide receiver 18. But here's the thing. I think Brandon Ayuk, well, it's you who's drafting after me. If it wasn't Justin, I still think Brandon Ayuk is going to be there when I come back up. Shoot, you don't have any wide receivers. So
Yeah,
now I feel threatened. I'm going to
so
take Brandon Ayuk.
yeah. Honestly, I probably would not have taken Ayuk there because I see a couple of wide receivers I like there. But what I like about your build, taking top-notch guys at each position, is like you're going to be able to take risk later on that could get you into the championship. And
Right.
if those risks don't work out, you're most likely still at least in contention for the playoffs, no matter
Right.
what. You've got that solid floor, so it's always a good, fun build to rotate the positions like this. But I just can't help myself. I see running backs out there and I've got to take them. I look at them. I love them. I want them. And I have Dalvin Cook listed as my RB7 overall. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to stand by that. I think that Dalvin Cook has a phenomenal season this year in that offense. And I get, yeah, we see what they've looked like in the preseason. They've had a few mishaps here and there, but new quarterback, new system. They're going to figure it out. But I do still need a wide receiver. I can't only go running back. So with this next pick, I'm going to go wide receiver. And there's a wide receiver I've been touting all offseason, the guy that gets 1,000-yard seasons like it's not, 1,100-1,200-yard seasons like it's nothing. And an opportunity for some touchdowns in a offense that's only going to be improving. I also think Roschon Johnson has an opportunity to help move this offense into the red zone and get more red zone opportunities for DJ Moore. So I'm going to go with DJ Moore.
All right, I'm going to go against my rankings, which is very odd. Dameon Pierce is there. Miles Sanders is there. I actually have Miles Sanders 7 spots ahead of Pierce, but here's my thinking. I think Miles Sanders is a little more volatile than Pierce, and I think Pierce is a little more safe. And with this roster, it's already very strong. I'm going to go with a safe guy so that I can continue to take risks later on, like you mentioned. I got Pierce, high floor running back. Ramondre, high floor running back, high upside. Olave, elite. Brandon Ayuk, high upside. Travis Kelce, elite. So if I get Pierce, I feel very well rounded, very safe. Starting lineup, very comfortable. I can go from there, like you kind of mentioned, and take risks. Can we when it gets back to me, all right, for the 6th, we'll pause this thing. We'll do the 47 brand giveaway. All right. So Dameon Pierce off the board. All right. Then we got DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin. There goes Miles Sanders, Christian Watson, George Kittle, Trevor Lawrence. There goes J.K. Dobbins. So he's going in the 5th. Alexander Madison, Mike Williams, Drake London, Jerry Jeudy, Cam Akers, Darren Waller, Chris Godwin, Rashad White, Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk, James Conner, who I like. I think James Conner is such a value. Alvin Kamara and Javonte Williams. So the value in those 3 picks right there, 6'8" through 6'10", Conner, Kamara, Javonte, high upside. Conner, I think, is the safest of those 3. But when Kamara comes back, if he's like his old self, huge value in the 6th. And then Javonte's question mark. But in the 6th, this roster that's got Javonte, I like this build. So rival, whatever you're doing with your ADP to get these builds, he went Christian McCaffrey, team 3, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Hurts, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Javonte Williams. So, if Hopkins connects in Tennessee, if Javonte comes back and balls, like, it's a pretty solid roster. So, all right, now the moment you've all been waiting for, besides the other moments you all waited for earlier in the show, we're giving away a 47 brand hat. When we award this is so this one's for tier 2 and above. All right. So anyone tier 2 and above, if you're a tier 1, I'm sorry, you're eliminated from this one. You're in the first one though. So shout out to you. I sent the link we're going to be using Fanatics. Okay. Cause they're an affiliate of ours. So once you've been announced, DM me. I will send you the link and then you will pick a hat. You'll say, Coach, I want that one. We will order it for you. We will mail it to you. And I bet you'll have it before the start of the NFL season. So you can rock that thing and let everybody know who you support. So Justin, are we ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready to go. I've got the wheel pulled up. Yeah, that's right. We've got a hat right there, and unfortunately, they popped it up there crooked. So, and I didn't realize with the white background, it wasn't gonna. But you get the idea.
Yes.
They are gorgeous hats. If you could see it without all the words in front of it, they really know what they're doing over there. These are some great hats. So, we're gonna shuffle it 3 times and spin the wheel.
They're about $40 a pop. So,
Totally worth it. They look gorgeous.
ooh, I like the noise. That's a satisfying noise.
And the winner is Jerry
Jerry
Janiga.
J. Shout out to Jerry. I think it's Janiga. Shout out to Jerry. Reach out to me on the Gilded, and I will get you your hat, man. I will get you the link to the hat. You'll pick it out, and we will get it mailed to you, man. So Patreon, if you want to join the Patreon, you want to be a part of these cool giveaways, and you want to have the support of the Title Tribe, and you want, start sit advice 24/7, trade advice 24/7, betting advice. So part of the Patreon this year, the Playing with House Money crew, they are going to be giving Monday night bets every Monday at noon in the Patreon chat. So if you're a gambling person, you like to gamble, this isn't going to go on their show. It's not going to go out on Twitter. It's going to go to Patreon only. Best bets for Monday Night Football in the Patreon chat every Monday at noon. Again, if you want to join Patreon, patreon.com/toilets titles for as low as $1.50 a month. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is $3. Tier 3 is $5, all the way up to $20. So we appreciate anything you throw our way. We plan on putting that back in. I'm getting more lanyards. We already ordered these. So these you get on Patreon, you get these. I mean, I love the Title Tribe. So I sent these to everybody anyway. Anybody in the Gilded chat, you join the Gilded chat, you say, hey, I want a lanyard. I'm going to send it to you. But if you join Patreon, also I'll say I got some pins, I got some stuff. We're always trying to hook you all up. But all right, we got about 9 minutes left of the show. So shout out to all the winners. I hope everybody's pretty fired up and happy about that. But let's pull up Rival. And maybe we get to 10 rounds. All right. So I am on the clock. All right. I want Dameon Pierce, Ramondre Stevenson, Travis Kelce, DeAndre Swift's available. James Cook's available. You know what? I think there's a good chance DeAndre Swift has like a monster year in Philadelphia. That's tough. I'm gonna go Swift here. All right. I'm gonna take a gamble. DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift's my running back 19, so I also have him ahead of Dameon Pierce. So it works out for me.
I like it. And my son has been taking Pierce everywhere. He absolutely loves the guy. So I hope that one works out for you as well. But so again, I like to look at all the different positions, and I was looking at it while we were doing the wheel spin, and I kind of know where I want to go here, but even when I know where I want to go, I always go back to the running backs and I look for value here. And I think that James Cook right now, in the 6th round, again, we get 2 flex in this league. So I'm going to go ahead and take James Cook. I know I can start him, and I know he's going to be an incredible start this year. I'm not worried about losing any opportunity to anybody. I know he's going to get almost every down. So I love the pick there. And then again, can't go running back every single down. I'm feeling really good at wide receiver right now with JJ as my number 1 and DJ as my number 2. There's only 2 tight ends left that I'm confident are going to have huge seasons right now, and that's Dallas Goedert and Kyle Pitts. I think Pitts has a huge 3rd-year breakout. I think he bounces back this year with that offense. So I'm going to take Kyle Pitts, and I'm going to feel pretty good about it.
All right. Sorry, I'm just contacting everyone in our Gilded chat, which you can get in. Titles@gmail.com. I'll get you in the Gilded chat and just letting them know to reach out to me. So Matthew Pryor, reach out for your $25. Boom. All right. So I'm back on the clock with 2 minutes. I feel like I need to go wide receiver now. Oh, Deontay's still available. Pickens is still available, but this is PPR. I love Pickens. Got Ayuk, I got Olave. So it's between 2 Steelers right here. I also like Jackson Smith and Jake. I think JSN wins Rookie of the Year. That's my bet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Dotson's there. I like Dotson as well. I'm gonna go Deontay as a flex play, PPR. I think he's gonna catch 5 to 7 balls a game, high floor. All right, after that, Dallas Goedert, another tight end off the board. Michael Pittman. There goes Pacheco, 7th. All right, Mike Evans. There goes George Pickens, a few picks after me. David Montgomery, Deshaun Watson, Marquise Hollywood Brown. There goes Jahan Dotson. There's a steal at that point. Dak Prescott, Jordan Addison, Evan Ingram, Jackson Smith-Njigba, A.J. Dillon, Brandon Cooks. There goes Tua. There goes Herbert. There's Freiermuth, Cortland Sutton, and Brian Robinson. So at this point, probably need to take a quarterback. We got Rodgers, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson, and Jared Goff. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson and hope that Jared Goff comes back to me so I can get a high upside quarterback, okay, and pair him with a high floor safe quarterback. So Anthony Richardson, I selected him.
I like the move, and I also like that you went quarterback there because I was looking at quarterback, and Dak Prescott was the guy that I really wanted here. I've gotten him in a lot of leagues, and I'm really stoked about it because of where you get him for value. Just also, guys, you need to know your leagues. So this is a one quarterback league. Typically, I don't take my quarterbacks until around 9, 10, 11. But there's a lot of quarterbacks coming off the board for a one quarterback league. So
Team 4 took Herbert and Allen.
Oh wow. Okay. Yep. So they're stacked there at the quarterback position.
Team 8 took Mahomes and Burrow and Lawrence.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe the ADP might be a little bit off on Rival here, but but they're tweaking it. They're getting it down.
Yeah.
So anyway, you all know how big I am on this Jets offense. And Aaron Rodgers, outside of last season and the year he was injured, has never finished outside of the top. I believe it was 8 or 9 in quarterback fantasy points, and his average over that time is the average quarterback 4 overall in fantasy football. I got to see him coming back. I hope he hasn't completely lost it, but if he has, it's this late in the draft, and I can always go stream it later. So I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. And again, I always look at these running backs. I know it sounds crazy, guys, but I've won a lot of leagues in redraft by going very running back heavy. So didn't have time to look at the other positions first, though. So let me kind of skim over that, see if there's anybody that absolutely stands out that I can't live without. And don't need tight end right now. So yeah, I see wide receivers out there that I like, but again, this is just unbelievable. The value here on running back, and I believe that Antonio Gibson is going to be the guy. I know it sounds crazy, but I think for whatever reason they're not giving it to the better running back. It's going to be Antonio Gibson again.
All right, man. I've been talking up Elijah Moore all offseason. He's still there, but I think there's a good chance he's there in the 10th. Jamal Williams or Charbonnet, A-Chain, who I think he'll probably still be there. Oh, there's Mostert. I think Mostert, I like A-Chain, but I think Mostert is a guy. I got 3 running backs. I only got 3 wide receivers. All right, let me go with I'm going to go with Quentin Johnson for high upside. I need a rookie at this point. Then we're going to do one more round. Then we're going to wrap this things up. All right, okay. So I go Quentin Johnson. All right, Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, David Njoku, Jamal Williams, Juju Smith-Schuster, Treylon Burks, Zach Charbonnet, Samaje Perine, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Kadarius Toney, Rashad Penny, Sky Moore, Geno Smith, Jerick McKinnon, Elijah Moore, Devon A-Chain, Dalton Schultz. So Elijah Moore did not make it back to me. That was my guess.
So close.
Man, is Kincaid still available? Kincaid. So I'd probably take Kincaid in the 11th. So Mostert is still available. So I'm going Mostert with my last selection. With my 11th round pick, I'd probably go Dalton Kincaid because I like the high upside there as well. So I'm going Mostert. How are we finishing this draft?
So you would also get Kincaid as well, just because I like Kincaid, don't get me wrong, but I'm a big fan of Juwan Johnson as a good solid floor tight end for your backup tight end. So that's probably, if I was going to go backup tight end here, I would probably go with him. I think I'm going to need to pick up a wide receiver just because this is the last round that we're going to do. And I saw my guy here earlier. Where was he? Oh, actually, I think he might have went, but that's okay. Later on, I'm also getting Josh Downs in a lot of drafts. I think he's going to be a lot bigger of a rookie than people are giving him credit for. But I'm going to go ahead and stack my quarterback and take Allen Lazard and get some stack points here as my wide receiver 3. So,
All right, so that does it for our final mock draft of the offseason, man. Like we've probably done like 15, 20 between NFL draft mock drafts, dynasty mock draft, redraft mock drafts. This is episode number 193. And yes, Toilets to Titles is closing out the fourth offseason of our career. I don't know if you'd call it a career, but we are looking forward to the regular season. Next season, we will be back with our weekly regular season shows. We're talking some DFS advice. We're talking some players that you should be picking up before everybody else does. We're talking some start sits. We're probably going to roll out some new stuff for the year. We're going to be going about 30 to 45 minutes a week in season. And man, I cannot wait for it. It's crazy that it's so close. So Justin, do you have anything you'd like to mention before we wrap this thing up?
No, go win your seasons, guys, and keep watching on Sunday mornings for the start sit, and we'll help you win these leagues.
Yeah.
Join rival.com/title tribe.
Yeah, and the start sit is Title Time. So Title Time will be airing 10:30 a.m. every Sunday in season, and that is your show. If you have a draft this week and you're not yet in the Gilded Chat, I'm going to say it one more time. If you're on Twitter, reach out to me at Coach Sheps. I will get you in there. It's free advice. It's free access to the team. If you're not on Twitter, toiletsandtitles@gmail.com, and we will help you get you ready for your drafts. Toiletsandtitles.com. Check out our redraft rankings as well, all that stuff, and we'll catch you all later on. Take care.